Okay, YouTubers, for the Investor Wealth Minute, or the Wealth Creation Minute, just a little something that I picked up. I don't know. I'm thinking this would have been in the summer of 2010. For some reason, I got it wild hair, or got it in my head that I could learn something from learning Rubik's Cube. I heard there were several different ways to solve it, and it taught me something about business. Because I'd heard it before in some of my other seminars. He said, all you need to know is one way how to make money, and then you just spin the crank as fast as you can. A lot of people out there have great ways to make money, but you need to understand how to follow their system. So there's a little object lesson here. I'm going to solve this Rubik's Cube, and if anybody doubts that there's anything special to it, and I mean, I go blindfolded and mix it up if you want, but you can see it's fairly well mixed. They've done the math on it. It took them 30 computing years at Google to figure out that it takes only 20 moves, and it's pretty much any combination of the 43 quintillion can be solved. So I'm not going to solve it in 20 moves, and I'm not going to be in 6 seconds, because that's like, at my level of skill and speed, is physically impossible. There's people all over YouTube. Maybe not all over that do it at 6 seconds, but that's the reigning world record that I understand. So I'm going to give it my crack here, and we'll add the time stamp later and see how we do. 3 to 5 minutes, just depending, okay? I'm going to pick out orange and solve orange as my first color. And there won't be much commentary here, I guess, because that would tend to distract me. But you're just going to see in a couple minutes how this thing shakes out for me. Oops, didn't I say orange? There we go. There's orange working on that top space here. Now I got orange. Like I said, I'm not going to talk too much, but there's definitely a system that it comes with instructions, and it's a fairly, I don't know, it's not extremely complicated, but it's a regimented system for solving the Rubik's Cube. It's, 7 easy steps. It's not quite AA, and it's completely doable. I'm going to try and keep this up here in the camera, even though it's not the most comfortable place to have it. But there's 7 steps to it, and it's funny because you get about 4 steps into it, you think, oh, I'm almost done. But that's only like actually half of the legwork. And I've come to understand that it's kind of a parallel to business, is you think you're almost there, but it's really you're only about halfway there, and you've got a lot of legwork left to go. Blue, white, orange. Put that corner in place. So we've got that edge. Looks like I've got a couple white, green. Flip that one around. Okay, so I got most of them except that one, and here it is. There, the top, all the edges done. Now we'll go back over here. So this is just the plain vanilla instructions that come with the Rubik's Cube that I'm following. It's about the only way I know how to solve it, and I will get into this a little later, how long it took me to where I could pick this thing up and actually follow the instructions correctly, and then how long it took to where I got to a point where I could actually do it without looking at the instructions. It might amaze you on how long that took, but it's doable. And you know what? I've seen 18-month-old babies do this on YouTube, probably because they watch their parents do it. And that's one of the things that whether it's church or some seminars I go to, I try to take one with me, just so my hands have something to do. It's one of the things that kind of keeps me awake. If my hands are busy, my mind is kind of busy, and I've got like an alternative level of focus that's going on there, and I'm not going to snooze off like some old guy in the sauna. So let's see. I guess we're just out of there. So this is the point where I'm onto the last layer, and like I said, it feels like you're almost there. You should just about be done, but really, you're only like halfway there, if that. So I've got to keep moving these around here until I find that one. This one's in the right spot. It's just not oriented right. So now I move the other ones around. I'm sure these pro cubers are just laughing at me, going, "Oh my God, it takes so long to do this." But that's my point, is there are people that are raging experts, and things that are easy for them should take longer for you because you haven't acquired their vision, their skills, or their talents. And depending on your level of dedication determines how fast you're going to be able to solve that problem of wealth creation. And, some people don't want to put that much work into it, so they're happier with a much slow and steady return, and it'll get them there, the tortoise and the hare. And that's perfectly fine. That's what this life is about. We are all free to choose. And you go what you're comfortable with. Clearly, I'm not talking about illegal things or stuff like that. But within the law, you're free to choose. Now, where was I going to go? When I first got this, I spread out the rules, the guidelines on my desk, and I tried to follow it, and it was just like not working. It took me almost 2 weeks before I could actually get consistent, successful results trying to solve this with the instructions in front of me, following them step by step by step. I'm thinking 2 weeks, I probably did it an hour a day, and it wasn't like I was dedicated, maybe a little obsessed, but I'd pick it up. It was kind of funny. I'd be at work, and you're listening to the computer churn and just basically do nothing while it's processing. So I pick this up and walk it through, and I maybe do that once or twice a day at work, maybe once or twice a day at home. So put in some time, and I kind of learned it. 2 weeks before I could do it following the instructions. And then as I kept doing it, I would go through and it was like, oh, first step. Yeah, you make the cross, but these have to match up. Okay, now I see what that means, and that's just kind of how I am. I'm a visual learner. I'm visually oriented. And as I was able to see what each of those was pushing me to and where they were moving through, it sort of made more sense. And things, it was like the tumblers in a lock were clicking together one by one by one. And that all came together, and I started to see how it operated. So I'd solve it a time or two, and I'd have to go back and refer to a step, and eventually I got it to a point. But it took me 6 months of doing that with the instructions before I was able to do it all from my head, and I had to see it before I could do it. And this is what just astounds me. You think, okay, it took me 6 months to understand this little Hungarian piece of plastic. What kind of effort am I putting into my own business, into my independent businesses, not my job, not what's making my wages, into what's making my profits? Or maybe if you're on that third tier of investing, this is what's getting you out of the rat race, accelerating and increasing your retirement and returns or your cash flow, if you choose to pursue that. But if that's the kind of effort that it took for this, what kind of effort do you think it will take on something that takes many levels of human interaction, leverage, teaching, negotiation? Something to think about. Are our expectations realistic? Have we bounced them off of people that have been there? Maybe they can give us some pointers on where we have a couple shortcuts. So I'm Owen Welling. This has been your Wealth Creation Minute. I hope this benefits you. We at Investor Resource Solutions do 401k rollover coaching. We do performance coaching to help you get bigger and better returns. And we do due diligence consulting and private money lending and brokering. So good night and God bless.